Hey everyone, I'm Maria Cavasudo and I'm here in Venice Beach with Kraddy and...
You're watching The Drop TV.
We're gonna get started with your latest adventure per se. So can you give us a little bit of information on Live and Direct and how that idea kind of came about?
Yeah, it was an idea I had. I really thought that electronic artists weren't really very well represented in most of the interviews that I saw. And I know a ton of electronic artists. They never come across the way they really are in the interviews. They're always being very safe. So I wanted to do something that was a little more long format, something where we could get into the people they are, as opposed to just talking about what music they love, just music things. Like get into really like who they are and what they're about and what brought them into EDM, but EDM more being the background, not the focus, you know?
And then you were telling me earlier a little bit about, how Howard Stern was kind of an inspiration in the way that you're going to conduct your podcast. What exactly about him is the thing that inspired you?
Howard's really the best interviewer out there. It's just no one who compares, and I've listened to him for years since growing up. I grew up in New York, and just listening to him and studying his interview style and the way he can get people to tell him things that they won't tell anyone else. He really creates a situation where two people are just chatting like friends, as opposed to this interviewee situation that you see on most talk shows or even like a Charlie Rose or something.
Who would you like to see on the podcast in the future? Or do you have anybody lined up that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I luckily enough have a lot of friends in the industry. Bass Nectar is a good friend of mine. He said he would do it when the time was right. Big Gigantic. Cascade is like a few people removed, but definitely possible. I would love to talk to Diplo. He's definitely like top of my list. I've heard Skrillex Sonny interviewed actually on Howard, which was good. But it was that was one of those times where I was like, this is the one time I maybe could do it better than him, because he doesn't know what that whole world is. He doesn't even understand it. Half the interview, Sonny was just sort of describing what electronic music was to Howard, and Howard didn't really care, to be honest, which is fine. It's just that's not his thing. But yeah, I think that would be a really cool interview. Steve Aoki, I think, would be awesome because he just seems like he's a real character. Oh, Deadmau5 would be really good. He seems like really likes to cause a lot of problems. He seems almost angry about being famous. Like, it seems like somewhat thrust on him, although I think he loves the attention, but he also loves, like, starting shit. I don't know, there seems to be something at odds with him. Like, he doesn't want to be this rock star, but yet he basks in it constantly.
What's the best piece of advice you would have given yourself if you could kind of look back and talk to a younger you?
I mean, the thing I always tell to young artists who ask me for advice is just keep writing music. And I think that's the advice I still give myself. And by that I mean, like, write. Don't sit there and try and make every song perfect. Just keep honing the craft, not in making everything you do perfect, but in just producing a lot, because the good ones are just good on their own. If you continue to have fun with it, then you can't lose,